Good evening, once again, and welcome to yet another episode of 10 Minutes with Ronald, live on Facebook, the show that nobody asked for, and nobody is watching. Can you make sure we have sound?
How do I do that?
I don't know. Just turn it on real quick and make sure.
Hold on.
Just hit play real quick, yeah.
Yeah, we have
Test,
sound.
test, sound. All right, good. It's working.
Okay, let me just share it. You may start.
All right, welcome everybody. Oh, this mic works. Okay, so first of all, let me just say thank you to Lady Marilyn Denise Young, my sister, for providing this microphone. It was only $15. She donated it to the show. She is truly a friend of the show, and I am very excited to have this microphone. All right, so I am here, as I spoke about a couple of weeks ago, to talk about dating from a female's perspective, and I have with me a live human female. And I'm sorry, it's a woman. I should say woman, not female. This is a woman. So after months of planning, I finally infiltrated her apartment under false pretenses.
Oh my gosh, enough.
Here's a surprise guest. No, just kidding. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about dating with my good friend Jessica Taylor, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself and say a little bit about herself.
Okay, I'm Jessica Taylor. I met Ronald through the gym. We're schoolmates. I'm 34, perpetually single, Northern Virginia native, super social. I have cats.
Super social.
Super social. So dating has never really ever been a thing I've done actively because my confidence has always sucked. But in the last year, I've been on like a pretty awesome personal journey, and I've lost over 85 pounds.
Woo! It works.
Yep. And so since then, I've really been trying to be pretty active in the dating scene. And I go on dates every week, few dates a week, and it's been pretty exhausting lately. So this actually came at a perfect time, I think.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So use this as a time to cleanse your soul and have a little bit of a reflective session on what exactly you've been going through when it comes to dating. So we talked a little bit before this, and we're going to cover a couple things. The first being of which is online versus in real life, or IRL, as you young folks are saying. So let's talk a little bit about the online methods of dating. So what have you been using?
Right now, I'm on Tinder, really classy. Bumble, which has been, we'll talk specifically about the different facets of each. And then I was on Match until recently. Basically, I canceled it because it costs money. And I like shopping more than I do men right now, I guess, because it comforts me. So yeah, those are the two sites I'm on right now. I will say, however, in the past, my brother has signed me up for several fake dating sites, so I often get hits off of those via my email, but I don't respond to those.
Are the dating sites fake or the profiles?
The profile is fake. I don't even
Gotcha.
know what the profile looks like. One of them says I'm a demon.
Is he a...
Which is true.
I cannot endorse that at all. I rebuke that. That is not okay. So which one, let's say which ones are your, what is your favorite one of the online methods?
I think I've had the best luck with Bumble.
Okay.
The people on Bumble seem to be of a higher quality, and I don't say that in a judgmental way. I think that Tinder is mainly just used for a hookup app. Even when dudes in their profile say, I'm not interested in hookups, I got a message like a second later that was like, exchange nudes, ? I didn't respond, Mom. And I think that Bumble is also good because the method with Bumble is after you match with someone, the female has to message the man. And then if the female doesn't message the man within 24 hours, they disappear forever. So I think that that's also helped me kind of like, it's pushed me to like put myself out there. Because it is hard, I think, when guys have to do all the work. Most of the time, people will match, and then the girls won't write anything. So, like, I think that work on Bumble has helped me with other apps.
Do you find that the people that you're meeting up with, do they match their profiles? Do they look like they say they are? Do you feel like they're doing a good job of representing themselves online as when you see them in person? Is there confirmation there?
Yes. I've only had like a couple issues physically.
Like
but,
what? What kind of issues?
Teeth.
Okay.
And this, I don't want this to be at all superficial, but
Okay.
you know, you're closing your mouth in all of your pictures, and then like I asked you why beforehand, and then you say, "Don't worry, they're all there," and then you meet them, and there's like, it's like there's 4 chiclets in the mouth, and then that's
it. False advertising.
Right, exactly.
Gotcha.
Because I feel, especially as like a curvier girl, I try to be very forthcoming with my pictures. Like I have several that are full body shots, some of just my face. Because I don't want to be misleading. I don't ever want someone to see me and be like, ooh, no thank you, or like, I've been catfished. So I take it seriously.
Okay. So talk a little bit about your experiences of meeting people in real life. Like, what are the methods that you do it, and like, what have your experiences with those been?
Okay, so to be honest, I don't have like, I don't have a ton of, even though I'm very social, I don't have a ton of free time. So when I do have it, frankly, the last thing I want to do is like, go out and like search for dudes. Like I'd rather just get together with whoever I'm with, and like if I see someone that I'm interested, frankly 9 times out of 10 I'm not going to approach them just because I'm really awkward in person. I just get like super nervous.
Do you feel like it is the responsibility of do you think it's the responsibility of the guy to approach the girl in those scenarios, or do you feel like it's kind of a free for all?
I don't think it's the responsibility, but I feel like the world has just taught us that. And I feel bad for dudes for that reason, because it shouldn't be only their job.
Okay.
Like if I really like what I see, I would say something, but I guess I just haven't been in that circumstance where I've been like, ooh, I gotta get you.
Understood. So which one do you prefer? So it sounds like you're saying you prefer online dating over IRL.
Well, I would like to...
IRL meaning in real life, for my older viewers out there.
I would like to meet someone organically.
Okay.
I that would be like my hope. I mean, I'm doing online dating because I can't complain about something if I'm not willing to like make a change or like take a step. I would prefer to meet someone in person or through someone, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Understood.
So this is the method that works for now by default, I guess.
Okay. So let's say now you've gotten to the point, and if you could do me a favor and hit
Yeah.
play on the video so we can see the comments.
Oh yeah, my bad.
But turn the sound off.
Okay. Got it.
Perfect. Okay, so one thing to talk about. Okay, so let's say now you've met the guy.
Okay.
You've gone online, you've met the guy, you guys have hit it off. So let's talk about like etiquette. So how often do you want to talk to him? How often do you reach out to him? What do you think are the rules surrounding, or do you have your own set of rules, or do you adhere to like a more grander set of rules?
Okay. So I used to have a set of rules, and then I realized that it wasn't working for me, so I just recently changed it. So before, when I would talk to someone, I wanted to like text with them. I'm a big texter, and I want to like text with them for a while, like just to get the feel of someone. But then I realized that there were times where like over time it would just eventually became pen pals, and then I lost interest. So lately there have been a couple of guys where like I've talked to them on a Wednesday, or we've matched on a Wednesday, and they're like, let's get together tomorrow night, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. And I feel like that's a little better.
Okay.
Because I feel like sometimes if you don't like go at things quickly, like you just lose interest. Or like if I talk to them about their like family and like the size of their shoe, like before I meet them, then like luckily I'm a good talker.
Are you?
Yup.
I'm kidding.
So yeah, so I would prefer now, I think, to do it pretty quickly.
Do you think that, if you really like a guy, do you feel like you just want to talk to him all the time, or do you feel like you hold back on purpose?
No, I want to talk. If I'm into someone, I want to talk to them as often as possible, but like I also don't want to seem needy or intense, so like I'm pretty good at pumping the brakes. I'm pretty self-aware.
So I'm going to throw a little audible in here. So
Okay.
me and my buddy were talking about something called thirst and being thirsty.
Oh, I'm so thirsty.
But do you think that just because you're interested in a guy and you're expressing your feelings toward him, that it seems as if you're being thirsty?
Too soon? I think yes.
Okay.
I think it also depends on like I would say it in a way like let me know when you're free. I'd really love to see you. I'd really like to see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
But like if they cross my mind, I'm not going to be like, hey, you just crossed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to be too intense too quick. I think that if after you've established that like you're dating someone, I think it's okay to be as thirsty as you want, because then you would know that the feeling's mutual. But like if you're just getting to know each other, one person being thirsty is a huge turnoff. Because that's happened to me before, where I'm like, stop gazing into my eyes creepily. I met you 38 minutes ago.
Understood. So do you think, so that kind of goes to our first viewer question. Hazel asked us, how fast is too fast? And I think in this scenario it kind of applies. So how fast would you say is too fast? And I think based on what you're saying, well, give me a time limit of saying, when can he gaze into my eyes and it'd be okay?
Okay. So I don't think that you can put a timeline on it. I think that like when you feel it, you feel it, but both parties have to feel it. And I think that with him, maybe I was giving him the wrong signal. Like maybe that's my fault. Like I was being too nice, and maybe kind of like I was just trying to be friendly, whereas he was like really into me. So maybe that's my fault for being misleading. But I think that like I have a pretty good gauge on how I come across to people and how people feel about me. So you know what I mean? Like I feel like I would catch the vibe.
Okay.
If I was being too intense or if I should give more. So I couldn't put a timeline on it. I mean, I think it's different for everybody.
I guess so. You're saying that when a guy, let's say he's into a girl, he should kind of just feel it out to say whether or not he really wants to say the things that he wants to say. And the reason why I phrased it that way is because I'm saying like I've even been in the same scenarios in which I've liked a girl, and I'm very instinctual, where I'm like, if I like her, I want to talk to her, and I'm gonna be like, hey, I planted this apple tree for you, and I brought you this basket of apples,
right?
So I want you to eat them. That's the type of guy I am. But how does one do that without coming off thirsty? Because it kind of sounds like you're saying that this person just doesn't like this guy.
Well, I think it's just a risk that you have to take. Like if you're feeling really strongly about someone, and it might be worth it, then go for it. Like if you have to wait long enough to figure out how someone feels about you, then they're not the person for you, period.
Agreed. Like
you can't wait for someone to come around and hope that they eventually feel the same way that you do right now. That's not a sign. That to me, that's a sign of a really unbalanced relationship.
Understood. So let me just check in with my viewers real quick. There was a buzzing sound going on the mic. Is that still happening or is that gone? Hit the, go back to the video. Yeah.
How do we see?
Yeah, just expand it a little bit.
Okay.
Wait, what? Why is it paused? Oh no, it's still going.
It's not letting us see it.
Hit escape. Did it actually pause?
Check the...
Oh no.
One moment.
Oh no, it's still going.
Okay.
Oh, it's good. It's good. All right,
okay.
It's good. Good. All right, sorry about that, y'all. So if anybody wants to volunteer to be there we go. That's the view we need to see. Perfect. So if anybody wants to volunteer to be a producer for Live with for 10 Minutes with Ronald, applications are now being accepted. So let's continue the conversation.
Okay.
So texting versus phone calls. Now, it sounded like you said that you're more of a texter than a phone caller. Oh, you're going through all the comments?
Look at Relly.
Look at this guy.
Oh, man.
No, we're gonna get into this. And I see that the commenters are actually all commenting on this. We're going to get into this a little more. However, let's talk a little bit more about communication, and we'll loop back to everyone's comments and questions towards the end. So what would you say, texting or phone calls?
Okay. I would say texting because for my job, it's more convenient. Like for my job and my life, it's more convenient. But I will say that you cannot read someone's personality 100% by texting.
Absolutely.
Like there was a dude that I kind of liked, and I literally almost wrote him off because he was a crappy texter. And then one night he just called me out of the blue, and we had like an awesome 2-hour conversation.
Oh, 2 hours.
But he went ghost. So we're not talking about him.
Oh, I'm sorry. That brings us to our next subject. What is
but just recently, a few dates with that I was pretty into. I thought it was going well. He went ghost on me last week. So after that, I will never do it again. Never. It's not respectful, and it's like if I'm working on dating and like being a good communicator, then like I just need to tell someone like you're awesome, but I just don't think we're a good fit.
Okay.
And then move it along.
Okay. So I think, and just to speak a little bit in defense of guys, this is from the female perspective, but, and I don't know how defensible it is, as someone who has gone ghost, sometimes you just don't know.
You're saying you've gone ghost before.
I have gone ghost.
Why?
Because sometimes you just don't know what to say. Like, sometimes the date was bad or the vibe is not there, something's missing, and there really is no punctuation to it. So you just leave like an ellipsis and you just dip out
right
quickly. I think it's disrespectful when you are vibing. Because
right.
I've been the guy who has been vibing with someone and then just got in my own head and was like, I'm just going to disappear.
Right.
So I've been that guy, but I've also been the guy that like, this is going terribly. I'm just never going to talk to her again. So I feel like when it's vibing, that's probably when it seems more conducive for you to be a communicator.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I think that part of me wanted to... Okay, so if someone goes ghost on you, are you just supposed to just accept the ghosting? Like, I kind of wanted to be like, all right, I'm giving this guy X amount of time. Because also, what's the time frame of ghosting?
Okay.
That's another question. It's like, okay, I'll tell you the exact scenario.
Okay.
So I've been out with this guy a few times, and the last time we spoke, he said, what are you doing for the holiday weekend, this past weekend? Let's get together. And I was like, yeah, definitely, I'm around. And then on Tuesday, I texted him, and I said, so what's the plan for the weekend? Nothing. But it's like, does he have an obligation to, like...
Yes. I feel like, and we've had a conversation about a young lady that I went on a few dates with that kind of became an ineffective communicator. And we had plans, and she kind of just, I don't know. It's like I don't know if we crossed wires or whatever. But I feel like if you initiate the plans, and then when someone asks you, hey, what's up with these plans? And then they just straight disappear.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's flat out disrespectful.
Right.
Like, you can't do that.
Right.
You need to refresh that page. So.
Will it just go live?
Yeah.
Okay.
It should. And then scroll down. There you go.
You guys clean up well after a workout.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mania. Okay. Oh, no, those are the first ones.
Yeah, that's the first ones.
Sorry, my bad.
These are the most recent, right? All right, cool. Okay. So I think we both come to the conclusion that we just say no to ghosting. There's no ghosting allowed here.
Correct.
So that brings me to my kind of wrap-up topic, my final subject, which is, can a girl be won over? And let me just preface this by saying, there have been times when, and I've talked to a couple of my guy friends about this, and we talked about being interested in a girl for whatever reason and being rebuffed for what seems like less than complete reasons. And me, since I'm pretty old-fashioned, I'm very much like, all right, I'm going to go get a radio and a box of chocolates and some roses, and I'm going to start singing to her outside her window. You know what I mean? Not stalker stuff, but I mean like...
That sounds a little stalkerish.
No, I don't mean actual stalker things. I mean actually putting in the effort to try to like win this girl. So do you think that it is possible in that scenario in which you have rebuffed a person for whatever circumstances, and he's basically not taking no for an answer, and not in the creepy way that's like being forceful and thing, but in a way that's like, hey, yo, I think you need to reconsider, or actually that still sounds kind of threatening, but like, hey, I really think like really looking at you and saying, hey, I think you're great to consider. So I want you to kind of speak a little bit about what are the circumstances in which that girl can be won over.
I think that first of all, a girl needs to, and again, this is something that I've had to learn through like process of elimination, consulting with friends, and, you know, processing it a lot with my mom. I think that I write people off pretty quickly. So like within the first 10 minutes of a date, like if they don't make me laugh, I'm like lame, loser, bye. But like maybe they're just nervous. Like maybe they're trying to gauge my sense of humor, right? So I think that first and foremost, women need to not like lead whatever they're doing with all of their like their checklist, because I think that happens far too often, and I'm guilty of it too. Secondly, if you're dating, then you need to figure out why you're dating. Are you dating to look for a relationship to get over a guy? Are you dating because you really want to settle down, or like do you just want to hook up with someone? Like you need to figure out what you want before you enter the dating pool. Because if you go into it wanting one thing and the person wants something else, then like your guard's going to be up and you're not going to want to be won over. So I think that people need to look at what they're actually wanting to get out of the whole like dating scenario. And then in that case, I would totally love to be courted and won over and pursued. I would love that. I would love if someone actually like actively chased me instead of being like, hey, let me send you a picture of my privates.
No, of the eggplant.
Because that's, honestly, that's not going to work.
That's not wooing. And
like,
go ahead.
Send me a picture of your dog.
A dog pic.
A dog pic.
A dog pic. I think more people will be on board with that. So at what point should a guy give up? At what point should and again, talking with my guy friends, we've been in scenarios in which there's been a girl in which we're starting to get kind of mixed signals.
Yeah.
So we are doing the wooing, and it's like, oh, you're a nice guy, but I don't know. But they're not flat out saying no. And they're not actually giving the reasons for the reject button or any of that.
Well, then I would say if you're starting to get mixed signals, I would say that you need to call it out and be like, hey, I like you, but I don't want to waste any more of your time or my time if you're not interested. Like, just be straight up with me. Because I think sometimes people don't have the cojones to actually say that if they feel it. Like, there have been times where I'm not interested, but again, I go ghost instead of just being like, I'm not into this. So sometimes I think people are waiting for that easy out.
Understood. Okay. Good. Noted. So for all those out there that are pursue without fail. Pursue. Go after them. Go after your dreams. I think that's all of the questions that we had. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about or anything that you wanted to cover? And at this time, all the viewers, all three of you, if you guys
we had many at one point.
If you guys have anything that you guys would like us to discuss or anything that you'd like to bring up, personal experiences, now is the time. I was considering doing a call-in, but I don't trust you guys not to call in with serious questions. So we'll kind of go through the comments now and see what's out
Lady
there.
Marilyn Denise.
What did she say?
She's awesome.
Oh, that's my sister.
Oh, go sis. Take the risk. It has a lot to do with keeping eyes open and everybody being honest. Yes, totally, both parties, but that's what I was just saying. Like, not both parties are necessarily going to be honest, because I think that, I don't know, I don't want to hurt someone's feelings, but it's also like so disrespectful of me to like string someone along.
But at one point, like, you look at a guy and you say, this is not what I imagine myself to be with. But by all intents and purposes, he is a great guy.
Right.
At what point do you separate that and say, I'm going to hear what I'm going to listen to his pitch. You know what I mean?
Right.
At what point do you do that?
Well, see, I think that is too, like,
you personally, not generally. I mean, like, you just.
Right. I mean, I think that, again, and this is something I'm working on, I'm too strategic and I'm too much of a control freak and very type A in a lot of ways. And so a recent commitment I've made to myself is just to kind of like let it be and like feel it out and see what happens, instead of like intensely being like, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? It's like, I don't want to, I've been in situations before where it's like, all I want to do is like talk about the signals and like what's going on and what was that interaction. And it takes like the joy and the fun out of like getting to know someone.
Absolutely.
I mean, talking is great to a certain extent, but like, just like be in the moment and enjoy it. Like, you'll feel it when it's not right. And then when it's not right, that's when you recognize it. Like, you can't let your mind tell you that it will drive you crazy.
It absolutely will. By the way, this is officially the most watched episode of 10 Minutes with Ronald. At one point, we capped out at 33, but no one's watching, but 33 viewers. But according to the catchphrase, no one is watching, so thank you for not watching. Why does that always happen?
I don't know. Oh, Nick. So I've had this is something else that's come up a lot.
Really such a troll.
He is such a troll.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of friends in the past who like are in relationships be like, well, it's because you hang out with, your gay friends too much, or you hang out with these people too much. And it's like I said, like, I literally want to spend my time like doing whatever I want to do with like the people that love me and support me the most. And if that happens to be my small group of friends who is majority gay, love all of you, I'm going to do that. Like, I'm just going to do it. And I think that sometimes, like, you need to make a decision. It's like, what do I want this weekend? Like, do I just want to, like, go out and have a good time? Or, like, am I really trying to, like, seek out a husband on a Saturday?
Do you ever feel moments of despair?
Oh, my gosh.
When it comes to dating?
All the time.
And how do you work your way through them?
I actually had, okay, so I will tell, and I don't think Gina's watching, but I will send her this after. So Gina is a good friend who she gives me a lot of hope because she was single for a large portion of her 20s into her 30s, and then she met a dude on Tinder when she was 34, my age, and they've been together a few years, and they just got engaged 2 weeks ago. And she says, I was texting her today, and I was just like, I've been on so many dates in the past couple of weeks, and just, I'm over it. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Like, I'm so sick of having the same conversation over and over again. And she's like, well, just take a break, but don't take a break for too long because you never know. Because you really do never know. Mm-hmm. So it's like, sometimes I feel like I just want to like throw in the towel. I would hate to be the dude who's always paying for it, though. Didn't we just talk about that?
Oh, man, next week we're going to discuss that. But actually, we can talk about that a little bit right now. Like, I definitely think, so as a girl, what do you think is the threshold for a guy paying for it? Because at some point, you have to say, are you distinguishing between receiving a free meal or like really interested in getting to know this person? Because I feel like you know what? My pastor said this to me once. He said, when you really love a woman, you'll pull out your whole wallet and just give it to her. And,
give me that.
And I've been there a few times where I've been like, what do you need? Just take it all. Like, charge it. I don't care. Do whatever it is you need to do. Like I've been there a few times. So I guess my question is, as a woman, when do you not? How do you toe the line of not taking advantage of that?
I usually will say, I'll take care of this, or let me get this round.
Hold on, she says we're frozen. Are we still frozen?
Go look at the phone.
Okay.
This is I don't know what's going on with this. Oh, yeah. It's insane.
Oh, that's why.
What?
We're good now. Oh, we're good. We're back. We're back.
Thanks, guys.
Again, I'm taking volunteers for producers. Please sit in your go ahead.
I will usually say, let me get this round.
Okay.
And I don't make it an option.
Okay.
I don't know, though. That's really tricky. You can't, discuss that before a date.
I feel like before you go to get date 2, I feel like there should not be a second date if you don't feel something.
Agree.
Because Go ahead.
Okay, so that's true, I guess. Like, if I feel absolutely nothing, I'll probably go ghost. Because I'm a wimp. But usually I'll do the second date if my mother pressures me.
Okay.
Or if I'm just like, why not? Like, I'm not completely writing them off for this reason. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say I don't know. I guess if it's not nothing, it has to be something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, there has to... I guess I'm saying that as a guy who's paid for dates, mm-hmm. and dates are not cheap. No. But as a guy who's paid for dates, I just always feel like right around when I get to date 3, I'm like, what am I doing? I mean, does she even like me? Do I even like her? What are we... At this point, I'm just buying dinners. You know what I mean? Well,
you could... If you get to a third date, you could strategize something that doesn't cost money.
That's the other thing, man, because, I mean, I've been pretty close to being like, hey, man, we about to go for this walk real quick. You know?
Yeah. Oh, your sister asked a really good question. Is it ghost after one date?
No. I'm sorry. You should answer this question.
Well, I think it depends on how you left it. I think that if you don't like them, you shouldn't kiss them.
Okay. Oh, so we're going in... So
no, I don't want to talk about anything further than that. But I'm just saying, it just depends on how you've ended the date.
Gotcha. Oh, Kevin Michael Roberts. If a woman doesn't at least offer to pay her way, she's saying my time is more valuable than yours. Oh, what do you think about that, Jess?
But like when? When is he talking about? Like if a woman doesn't at least if she doesn't at least offer. I agree.
Okay.
For example, the most recent ghost. I swear I'm not bitter. The most recent guy, like we had dinner and then he paid and I was like, thank you so much. And then he's like, do you want to go to the bar? I'm like, yeah, I got this. So like he paid for dinner and then we went to the bar and then I paid for the first round.
Okay.
So I didn't offer for dinner.
What about that second and third round?
I don't remember.
Oh, Lord. Help her, Lord.
Is it weird if a woman offers to pay? Okay, when Relly asks, when is it all right to bring up the sex talk? I don't really think there should be a conversation about sex. Like, if it happens, it happens. I think that I don't know.
I think you should abstain until marriage.
Same.
That is my official position on this. Let's move on to the next question.
All right. Yeah, Ryan says you could also make dates not around dinner.
Also good.
Yeah. I'm trying to feel you out on date 2. Date 1 is the interview date.
Oh.
Yeah.
So me and Deshonda have actually talked a lot about dating in general. I don't ever feel... So, do you ever feel like it should feel like an interview? Like, I feel like if two people... If the vibe is there, it shouldn't even feel like an interview.
Right, it should just roll.
Yeah, exactly. So... And I feel like a lot of times, and I learned this actually from Patty Stanger on
Millionaire Matchmaker.
Yeah, Millionaire Matchmaker. Like if I'm feeling it on the first date, I definitely lock down the second date during the first date.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, so what are you doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? What do you think about that?
Okay. Again, I would be into that if I was also feeling the guy, but if a guy said that to me and I wasn't sure, I think that I might just feel nervous and say, sure, Wednesday, and then I go ghost. Again, something I'm working on. I haven't gone ghost since I last went ghost. Okay, but actually, I had a date last night. Okay, I need to tell them what happened last night. Okay, so I had a date last night. This guy invited, and it was kind of weird, I guess. Ron pointed out when we were at the grocery store yesterday that it was weird that I'm going to see fireworks with a guy that I just met.
Yes.
But I don't know. I got like an okay vibe from him, and he said that his like building was having something, and so like I went over to his place. He seemed totally normal. The vibe was good, and then he just was like talking nonstop about how much money he made. And first I was like, interesting, and then I was like, all right, enough. I'm over that. And then we went upstairs to look at the fireworks, and they had built a building that had obstructed the view of the fireworks, so literally there were no fireworks to be seen. And then he was like, oh, well, New York's better, New York's better. He was a New Yorker. He couldn't stop talking about New York. We went back downstairs to his place, had another glass of wine. I went to the bathroom. I came out of the bathroom, and he was on Bumble, like, as I was in his apartment. And I was like, dude, like that. And he goes, all right, full disclosure, I'm just trying to be honest, but, like, I didn't know your name. I was at his house for 2 hours, and he didn't know my name. Like, what is that?
Sad day, sad day, sad day.
He was like, would you rather me have not told you?
Yes.
And I was like, absolutely.
Yes. The worst part about it is like when you're in that type of scenario, you really don't have you really don't have a reason to use each other's names.
Right.
Like you couldn't just be like right now, I haven't said your name since I introduced you, but I haven't said your name since I've like been in your apartment. Like, it's just like, hey, what's up?
Right.
How's it going? Like, it's fine.
Right.
If you don't know, you can figure it out later, you know?
Right. Totally. Zach says, I just want to know why women don't like to take a chance at something different. What does he mean by that?
Let's see. Like, they all...
right?
They're all still...
Right! Thank you, Denise.
That's Marilyn.
Marilyn. What... I'm confused.
Her name is Lady... She needs to change her name.
All right, Marilyn, I love you. We're new friends. I'm going to add you as my friend.
That's my sister.
It's okay.
All right.
I left pretty soon after that. And I haven't heard from him today, so I hope he goes ghost on me because I don't ever want to see him again.
So, I think we got to wrap it up soon because your phone is going to die.
Okay.
But I do want to... Oh, 40 viewers! 40 viewers! All right. I want to say this. Can we just set the parameters for ghosting?
Yeah.
Because I think we're calling something ghosting that's not ghosting.
What do you mean?
So I think if after the first or second date, if you are not interested in a person, you do not owe it to them to tell them why. Unless you guys had a vibing connection.
Correct. Or right, / or you gave them mixed signals. Like
yes.
Like let's say that we were vibing, we both knew. Great. Then we would plan the second date, but like let's say that like I was into you and you weren't really into me, but you still misled me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, you owe it to them to tell them.
Correct.
Especially if you feel like you're lying to them.
Correct.
So, I mean, if you feel like they've been lied to.
And I know I've had a few first dates and then it's been nothing, and it isn't necessarily ghosting. It's just like they don't contact me, I don't contact them.
Absolutely.
But I think it's when you put it out there that like you're interested, or you text them when you get home like, oh, I had a great time. And I'm guilty of doing that just because I want to be nice.
Cut that out.
Cutting it.
Any final thoughts?
Are there any husbands out there? I'm funny. I'm smart. I have cats. No, I'm kidding. Not kidding. No, I think that having conversations like this is really important because I think that there is a huge stigma for people that are single. Yes. I even feel it within my group of friends.
In your 30s, yes.
I'm sick of feeling like I'm that much different because I don't have a partner.
Yes.
So help your friends, be supportive, have conversations with them about it. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you can't relate to the person that was once a good friend or still is a good friend. Right?
Absolutely.
You feel me?
No, that was just very well said. I'm very proud. So that is our show for today. Again, 10 Minutes with Ronald. Constantly going over 10 minutes every week now. Next week, we're going to cover from the male perspective. I'm going to be talking with my good friend, Michael Jefferson, and we're going to come from the male perspective, covering the same questions and talking a little bit about how we feel about dating. Feel free to reach out to me if you guys have more questions, other topics you want to cover, other things you want to talk about. I appreciate everyone that's not watching and everyone who is answering questions that were not asked. So again, this has been Jessica Taylor. Thank you so much for inviting me into your home and taking my questions.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, this has been 10 Minutes with Ronald, the show that nobody is watching and no one asked for and will not make you famous. I'm Ronald Young.
Speak for yourself. Good night.
I'm Ronald Young. Oh, Renee.